Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Dreams Guy podcast. My name is John Thomas, and we are looking at a biblical dream this week. Actually, we're looking at 3 biblical dreams. They're all tied together in one story, and it's easier just to look at them all together because there's some principles that we can learn, but they're very interconnected. And we're still in the life or early life of Jesus. So we've already looked at a couple dreams that have been key, where Joseph had a dream telling him to go ahead and take Mary as his wife. The wise men were given a dream to go home in a different way, not to tell Herod about the child that they had found. And now we're going to pick up right into that same narrative. We're in Matthew chapter 2, verses 13 through 23, and we're going to take a look at the next 3 dreams that come out of this season. 5 dreams right in the very early childhood of Jesus that were key to his formation and the things that he did, where he went, what was accomplished, protecting his life, naming his life, forming who he was. Very interesting that God would give that much importance to dreams in his life. Let's pick up in verse 13 of Matthew chapter 2. It says, now when they had departed, this was talking about the wise men. So when the wise men had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. So dream 1 here, saying, arise, take the young child and his mother and flee to Egypt. Stay there until I bring you word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, out of Egypt I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was deceived by the wise men, was exceedingly angry. And he sent forth and put to death all the male children who were in Bethlehem and all its districts, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had determined from the wise men. Then was fulfilled what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation, weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted because they are no more. Now, when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, dream number 2, saying, arise, take the young child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who sought the young child's life are dead. And he arose, took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. And when he heard Archelaus was reigning over Judea instead of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And being warned by God in a dream, dream 3, he turned aside into the region of Galilee. And he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene. Now it's interesting how often these dreams and the response to the dreams fulfills prophetic words that had been given already about the Messiah in the Old Testament. Let's take a look at a couple of these. So the first one, we've heard this story so many times that we kind of lose the impact of what is going on here. Just imagine a young couple, maybe they're early 20s, just married, they've got their first child, they moved into a new area, so their family is in another area, so they're in this new area. They've been there for about 18 months. They're just kind of getting established. They just now, have gotten going. Maybe, he's a carpenter, so he's just got his business going, starting to get some business. He's got a shop built. They've got their own place. They've been able to build a home, and life is starting to normalize for this young couple that just got moved from a different region in their country, a different state, let's say. And in the middle of the night, one night, the guy wakes his wife up. Honey, get up. What? Get up. I need you to go pack the baby, grab an overnight bag, grab what you need, just throw it in the car. We're going to leave. What are you talking about? Where are we going? We need to move. I live in the United States, so you just use this example. We're going to move to Mexico. What? Like, can we talk about this in the morning? No, we need to go before it gets light out. We need to go right now. Why? Why are we going? Well, I just had a dream. Shut up. Roll over and go back to sleep. That's how most of us would respond, but it's not what happened in this story. So in this story, Joseph gets a dream. He wakes up, and it says, he arose, took the young child and his mother by night. That very night before the sun came up, they were gone. They took what they had. They get on, whatever transportation. I mean, I'm thinking of the movie where they were on a mule going through the desert, getting to Egypt. I don't know if they were on a mule or not. Who knows how they were getting there? But they take off and they travel to Egypt that very night because of a dream. Can you imagine making a decision that big because of a dream? How about that big that affects your family, your economics? I mean, no 2 weeks notice. I mean, he was his own employer, but how about the people that were waiting for the cabinets that he was building, or the table that he was building, or whatever it was that he happened to be working on, the projects that he'd said he was going to accomplish? But he has a dream. Now, we've said this the last few biblical episodes, and we'll just keep on coming back to this point. You see, God is making a point in how he communicates. He expects us to listen to our dreams, to pay attention to our dreams, because sometimes the things that he says in our dreams are life and death. This was a life and death matter. If Joseph would not have responded, if Mary would have resisted, Jesus would be dead. It's a life and death matter. Now, I'm sure God could have saved him in another way. There's all kinds of ways, but this is the way God chose to do it. This is how he chose to do it. He put the life and death decision in a dream. And not only did God put that much importance on the dream, but they responded rightly, making this major decision. And then recognizing the timing. I mean, there's no internet, so you're not going to hop on and see, oh, hey, so-and-so posted that Herod died. I guess we can go back. No, there's no posting on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram or any other place for you to look at. There's no local news for you to get. I mean, maybe if there was a caravan of merchants that came through that had happened to be in Judea, that happened to come into your area, and you happened to get to talk to them, you might find out what happened there. But that would not necessarily be the case. And so God just gives them a dream. Says, now's the time. It's time to go back. And so they go back. If he was wrong, that's a high cost, because they could lose their life if he was wrong. But he wasn't wrong. He was trusting this revelation. He was trusting that God spoke, trusting that he could hear, and making major decisions based on it. Now, we're so afraid of this because we have such a Greek mindset. We see the world through a secular lens, and it is not a biblical worldview. The biblical worldview is very different. The biblical worldview puts an importance on spiritual communication that we're afraid of. We're afraid of anything that doesn't match up to the God of reason. Ever since the Enlightenment, we have made reason, our understanding, our ability to understand, to know, to comprehend our God. It has become the highest thing, that everything has to bow to the altar of reason. That doesn't make any sense. So, was it God? We are not allowed to make decisions based off of what makes sense alone when God has spoken. Not if we actually want to be biblical. Now, if we want to be worldly, we can, and we have to. But I didn't come into this to become worldly. I saw what that got me, and it was pretty ugly. I was completely unimpressed with my life when I was running it. I'm done with that. I want to figure out what happens with my life when he runs it. And that's what we've been called into. He is God. He's not the thought. He's not our understanding. He is God. And he gets to call the shots however he wants to call the shots. And his word says that he does that through dreams and visions. And so whether we like it or not, we need to learn to understand our dreams and visions because God speaks through our dreams and visions. That's the reason why it's important, because he's important. It's not because dreams are that important. Dreams get their importance from the fact that God uses them, not the other way around. It's God that's ultimate in importance. And so we need to learn however it is that he speaks. And this is a way that he speaks. And so he tells them, one, get to Egypt and do it now. All right, now it's time you can go back. And as they're going back, and this is something else that's interesting about this dynamic, because Joseph heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judea instead of his father. And so he's afraid. He's concerned. He's like, wait a second, I don't like that. There's probably a reputation. Archelaus had a reputation as well. Not as bad as his dad, but he still had a reputation. And so Joseph is concerned. And while he's concerned, he's probably praying. He's probably asking God, like, what do I think about this? What do I do about this? God speaks to him and warns him and says, well, don't go there where he's in control. Go over here. And so he goes to another area, another region that is in Israel. And that's where he goes, to Nazareth. And that just happens, like there's coincidence in God, just happens to fulfill the prophetic word that had been given, that he shall be called a Nazarene, that he's going to come from Nazareth. See, all of these things God uses, God speaks to draw us into the plan that he has formed from the very beginning. And if we respond, we will find ourselves in the middle of that plan. We need to learn how to recognize dreams. And we've been going over this for a period of time. And some of you, maybe you've just started listening to this podcast, go back and listen to some of the older episodes. We've been laying a number of different foundations as we've looked at biblical dreams and examples of modern dreams, people that have had dreams and how to respond to them. We've been talking through how the biblical formation of our thinking causes us to see and respond to dreams. And we need this because God made it important. So important that he put his own son's life, path, destiny, formation on the line with dreams that he gave to his dad. That's a pretty good reason. Guys, I hope you're getting something out of this. I know I am enjoying having this conversation. Thanks so much for joining me for this episode of the Dreams Guy podcast. My name is John Thomas, and we'll see you next week.